Hi there everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Alice Takeover. Today we're going to be talking about blacklists and why I don't like them. If you haven't seen my channel before, I've been a traveling freelance model for a little bit over a decade, and now I have a little bit more time on my hands where I can start to film for YouTube and start to bring more awareness to my career's existence. I teach aspiring models how to get into freelance modeling and photographers on how to hire freelance models. And so today we're going to be talking about blacklists because this has come up a lot more frequently. They're no secret, models talk, and we've discussed that there's been these pages that have popped up and notes, long notes, that have been written about models by photographers. And most recently, a Facebook post has popped up where this photographer took, the most shocking thing is that these photographers will take time out of their life to write out all of this crap about a model, and so I want to talk today about why I disapprove of actions like that from both sides, models and photographers, and alternatives to do instead. So first and foremost, I want to address that creating a blacklist of someone or of many people just looks tacky. I've seen before where photographers will list on their profile a list of models that they don't recommend, and I've also seen the same for models where they list out all of these photographers that they hate and why. And when you look at someone's public profile and that's like the one thing that you see right away, it just leads people to think, wow, first off, like that's like super cringy because it shows a lot about your character as far as what you want to hold on to, like with your own personal self. I don't want to personally hold on to any more grudges than I need to. It makes you look like you're hard to work with when you blast out there all of these people that you don't like publicly on your profile of all things. And it makes me think, oh my gosh, what if that person decides to do that to me if I cross them wrong for whatever reason? The biggest reason that I've seen photographers blacklist models is if they don't show up, which I understand. I know it's annoying, but there are a lot of reasons that someone may no-show. And I always found when a photographer canceled on me that it wasn't worth my time anyway. When someone cancels on me, it's less aggravation that I have to go through because more than likely, if I force a shoot to happen and the other person doesn't want to do it, I'm not going to have a good time, they're not going to have a good time, no one's going to have a good time. And the biggest reason I've seen models blacklist photographers is for similar things having to do with feeling uncomfortable for whatever personal reason they might have. Which brings me to my next point, that you shouldn't be making public blacklists or participating in them in any way, because things that are truly negligent and criminal acts should be dealt with on the legal level. For instance, I saw this entire Facebook post of like this photographer going off about this model and like why he doesn't like her and all this. And he said in the post that it was because she was dangerous, but he didn't list any exact evidence for her being dangerous. And I'll see models do the same thing. I've seen many Facebook posts in the past where models have wrongfully accused a photographer of being a creep for no good reason particularly. If there is something truly criminal going on, it should be dealt with in the court system, not on public social media. Which also leads into my next point. If you make comments about someone online and it's meant to degrade their reputation and ruin their character, and then to ultimately ruin their business, and if there's anything you state that is incorrect information or falsely stated, you can get sued by said person that you slandered for defamation of character and slandering. And depending on what else you say, they can also probably sue you on other accounts as well. So you should never be making public accusations against another person or a company unless you have specific evidence against them that verifies what you are saying about them is true. So those are the reasons that I don't recommend making a blacklist of anyone or multiple people, which leads me to then talk about what are some alternatives that you can do instead of blacklisting people online. So my go-to alternative, instead of blacklisting all of these people that I can't stand, because let me tell you, I have a list in my head of like who I can't stand, and the list is long. But I also have an amazing list that is is 10 times longer of people that I do recommend and people that I do enjoy working with very much. And so alternatively, I will give good references to the people that I want to see succeed and get more shoots and to have people book with. And when I see specific examples of someone doing something incorrectly and I don't want to make a blacklist of them, but I will make an example of their behavior. So if you've been following me on social media for a while, you've probably seen where I'll take an example and I'll make it more anonymous. And you'll see I'll post a lot of videos here on YouTube up and coming of these types of specific circumstances, but without names attached to it. That way people can make their own connections once they see the behavior for themselves out of anyone. So that way you're not just ousting one person or a small group of people that you know about. If you address the behavior online through your social media platforms and you tell people what it is that you disapprove of exactly, but just not include the name of the person that you learned about the behavior from, other people will then be able to look at that behavior and go, okay, and in my circumstance, Alice saw this behavior that this photographer did that was incorrect, or this behavior that a model did that was incorrect, and they'll be able to apply that to anyone that they meet along the way that may example that type of behavior. I think for the growth of our industry as a whole, celebrate those who have done well and congratulate them by giving them more work, and then just stop working with those people who are bad to work with and who don't set a good example for our industry, and to example that behavior in a more anonymous format. That way people from our industry can take that information and analyze each situation for themselves. I'll be posting lots of safety information on this channel. If you already haven't checked out what I've done, be sure to check out my playlist and see if there's any videos on there that are titled in such a way that intrigue you on things that you may have seen before, but also look at the videos that you may not have noted that type of behavior before and take note of that for when you do experience a situation where you run into someone that's not the best to work with or the interaction confuses you for some reason. And photographers should check out my playlists that are directed specifically for photographers on actions that models may do that are also incorrect behavior, and for the videos where I list correct behavior of models. So I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. If you liked it, feel free to give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and leave me a comment down below of what you liked about the video, any other information or stories that you may have, again, keeping in line with what I just described as appropriate to share of stories that you may have down in the comments. Thanks again for tuning into this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!